So Beyonce and Jay-Z are now the center of this absolutely wild situation involving Diddy party tapes. And I have to tell you, the images supposedly showing them at these parties are so obviously fake that I'm genuinely stunned millions of people fell for it. Like, I've been covering the Diddy saga since the Cassie lawsuit dropped. And I've always told you guys that discernment matters, especially when there are people out there looking for money or just straight up rage baiting, but this is next level. The AI stuff has gotten so much heavier now than it was when all of this started. And what we're seeing is a preview of how bad the propaganda is going to get before this is all over. Before I get deeper into this though, if you're new here and you want to follow this Diddy situation as it develops, just hit subscribe to Metro Society real quick. It helps the channel, and honestly, this story is only going to get more complicated from here. The thing that really gets me about these fake stills that went viral, millions and millions of views by the way, is how people just accepted them without even looking closely. There's this one image of Beyonce with Diddy that looks like it was pulled straight out of a video game. I'm not exaggerating. It looks like a rendering from a game, not even a good one, and someone had the audacity to present this as evidence of some secret tape. What's worse is that person probably got paid for it, because Twitter now lets blue check accounts monetize engagement. So they're literally profiting off fake images of Beyonce. That account should be removed, honestly. It's not just about spreading lies about celebrities, it's a complete disrespect to the actual victims who were in real tapes and were genuinely harmed by what happened at those parties. And I want to pause on that point about the victims for a moment, because this is something that genuinely doesn't get talked about enough when we discuss these viral hoaxes. Every single time someone manufactures a fake image or a fake story about a celebrity being on one of these tapes, it diminishes the very real experiences of people who were actually victimized. There are individuals out there who are still processing trauma, who are still trying to piece their lives back together after what happened to them, and now they have to watch as the internet turns their nightmare into a content farm. It's disgusting. The people making these fake images aren't thinking about the survivors at all. They're thinking about their engagement metrics, their ad revenue, their moment of viral fame, and that to me is one of the most cynical things I've ever seen in all my years covering stories like this. Now, I want to be very clear about something, because I know people are going to take what I'm saying and twist it. I'm not sitting here claiming Beyonce and Jay-Z don't exist in any realm, with Diddy, in any tapes, in any capacity. We simply don't know that. What I do know is that Jay-Z was at many parties with Diddy. They had the Rock Nation brunches together. They moved in the same circles for decades. So of course there could very well be tapes existing of Diddy with these people that just haven't seen the light of day yet. Maybe that comes out eventually, maybe it doesn't. But what's circulating right now is not that. What's circulating right now is laughably fake. And if you believed it, I need you to just stop and actually look at what you're sharing. There's another image where Beyonce is supposedly standing with Jay-Z, and the caption claims this took place in November 2023, which doesn't even make sense timeline-wise with when the Cassie lawsuit was active and when everything was coming to light. Why would something from that specific time period even be released right now? It's nonsensical. And then there's yet another image where the person sitting on the bed, who's supposed to be Beyonce, looks like a random white woman. It's just ridiculous. The AI is that bad and people are still believing it. This is where I get frustrated, because we're at a point now where AI Instagram models are fooling people I actually know. My friends will be liking these accounts and I'm sitting there like, bro, that's not a real person. And they're arguing with me saying, no, it is. And I'm just staring at these images thinking, how do you not see this? This is a whole new level of propaganda that's going to completely mess with our heads if we don't clamp it out right now. Especially when it pertains to Diddy or Jay-Z or Beyonce, cases I've been following closely, I'm going to sit here and tell you directly that this isn't true. Whoever has the time to make these fake stills, you're a weirdo. You're not cool, you're not exposing anything, you're just a very weird person manufacturing fake tapes of celebrities you either like or dislike to generate engagement online, and now people actually believe it. That's harmful. And let me tell you why it's harmful beyond just the obvious misinformation angle. When people start believing these fake images are real, It creates a permission structure for more of this content to flood the internet. The people making these things see the engagement numbers and think, okay, this works. Let me make 10 more. And the AI tools are getting better every single month. What looks like a bad video game rendering today is going to look photorealistic in 6 months. So if we don't draw a hard line right now and say, no, we're not doing this, we're not sharing unverified images, we're not falling for obvious fakes, then by the time this case actually goes to trial in June, we're going to be drowning in synthetic media that nobody can distinguish from reality. That's not hyperbole. That's where we're headed. And the people who are most vulnerable to this are the ones who aren't chronically online, who don't understand how AI image generation works, who see something shared by a family member on Facebook and take it at face value. Those are the people I'm worried about. What makes this even more absurd is the timing, because while these fake images are circulating, Jay-Z is actually dealing with a very real and very serious legal situation that deserves actual attention. The Busby case is accelerating, and we're now looking at a trial scheduled for next June, which means the next 6 months are going to be intense. Time is going to fly by, and Jay-Z has a genuinely steep hill to climb here. Multiple attorneys from different law firms have come out and given statements about this, and what they're saying doesn't look good for Jay-Z at all. Attorney Jordan Matthews of Holt and Matthews LLP stated very clearly that convincing a judge and jury is going to be extremely difficult. The burden of proof is high, particularly because Jay-Z's team needs to prove that Busby actually intended to deceive the court, and that's not an easy thing to establish. Busby has already denied any wrongdoing, and Matthews believes it's highly unlikely that Jay-Z, who reacted to the initial claims with visible anger, is going to be able to prove intentional deception in court. What Matthews suggested, and I think this is spot on, is that this entire move by Jay-Z appears to be little more than an attempt to double down on the position that the claims against him were false, primarily to bolster his public image and salvage whatever business deals were affected by the lawsuit Busby's client filed. That's what this is really about. It's not about justice. It's not about clearing his name through proper channels. It's about trying to recover financially from the hit his reputation took. And look, I understand the instinct to defend your name when you feel you've been wrongfully accused. Anyone would feel that way. But there's a difference between defending yourself and launching a counteroffensive that multiple legal experts are looking at and saying, this is going to be really hard to win. That's not defense, that's pride. And pride has a way of making smart people do very unwise things in courtrooms. Then another attorney, Yossi Yehude, jumped in and spoke to Breitbart Online about this, and he brought up an important distinction. The penal code targets intentional deceit, and there's a real difference between aggressive advocacy and intentional deception. Jay-Z accused Busby of filing what he called a phony lawsuit, but since that allegation was made, the woman actually dismissed her case voluntarily. That should have been the end of it, but even the dismissal wasn't enough. Yehude pointed out that Diddy, if he can successfully prove his point, could actually win a significant triple in monetary damages, which adds another layer to why Jay-Z might be pushing this so hard. Allegations get even messier because Jay-Z's team also claimed that Busby manufactured a fake death threat, supposedly telling Jane Doe that Jay-Z threatened to harm her if she didn't step away from the case. Jay-Z's court documents speculated that the Texas attorney was involved in this and wanted the case dismissed before New York courts could dig deeper into his credentials. All of this is going to be incredibly difficult to prove in court, and the fact that multiple law firms are coming out and giving statements to various websites suggests there's genuine public interest in how this plays out legally. Robert Sigler, founder and lead attorney of the law offices of Robert Sigler PLLC, weighed in with a perspective that should concern Busby too. He said that no proof of negligence or aggressive lawyering is enough for courts to agree to deception. It must be intentional, but when there's a claimed violation of the filings, the documentary evidence becomes the main witness. So both sides have significant hurdles here, and the documentary trail is going to be everything. What's fascinating to me is how many law firms, 3 to 5 to 6 different ones, are all giving statements on this case. These articles are actively seeking quotes from legal experts which tells me there's a form of public interest driving coverage beyond just celebrity gossip. Some of these attorneys are worried for Jay-Z. Others think this is going to be very difficult for Busby, and honestly, it is going to be difficult for Busby. But I think Busby's going to have the upper hand in this court situation against Jay-Z. And I've been saying this from the beginning. Pick your battles, Jay-Z. The case got dismissed. What exactly are you trying to prove by fighting Busby in court? You lost a lot of money from deals that fell through, but you're not getting that money back through this lawsuit. That's not how this works. And honestly, what did you think was going to happen when you chose to be friends with R? Kelly, with Diddy, surrounding yourself with people who had these allegations swirling around them for years, you were going to be affected by some of this stuff, indirectly or directly, and those were poor choices. To this day, you've got Dame Dash still cutting you up publicly. To this day, the circle of people you chose to align yourself with, their actions were always going to haunt you eventually. That's really what Jay-Z is feeling right now, the weight of those associations. And this Busby situation, I've got a bad feeling about it for him. I genuinely don't think he's going to win this. I don't think it's going to go anywhere productive for him. It feels like a waste of legal time and resources that isn't going to accomplish anything meaningful. The lawsuit got dismissed, the GQ interview where he positioned himself as being on the offense, all of that should have been enough. What else do you need to do at this point? And circling back to where we started, this is why those fake AI images of Beyonce and Jay-Z at Diddy parties are so damaging. They distract from the actual legal proceedings, the real court cases, the genuine questions about who knew what and when. Instead of people paying attention to multiple law firms analyzing Jay-Z's chances in court, they're sharing video game renderings of Beyonce and getting outraged over fiction. It's a disservice to everyone involved, including the actual victims who deserve to have their cases taken seriously. The timing of these fake images going viral right as Jay-Z is gearing up for this June trial isn't coincidental either. Somebody wanted these out there, whether for engagement money or to muddy the waters around the real legal issues, and it worked. Millions of views, countless shares, and now the conversation is about debunking fake pictures instead of examining why Jay-Z is pursuing a case that multiple legal experts think he can't win. I'm going to be monitoring this situation between Jay-Z and Busby very closely because it genuinely intrigues me. The legal strategy here, the public relations angle, all of it, we're going to court over this. And that's not something I ever expected to see happen. The next 6 months leading up to June are going to be revealing, and I'll be here covering every development. But please, for the love of everything, use some discernment with what you see online. If an image of Beyonce looks like it was ripped from a PlayStation game, maybe don't share it as evidence of anything. Look at the hands, look at the backgrounds, look at the lighting inconsistencies. These AI generators still struggle with basic things like fingers and text and reflections. And if you just take 30 seconds to actually examine what you're looking at before hitting that share button, you're going to save yourself a lot of embarrassment and you're going to help stop the spread of this garbage. Because here's the thing that keeps me up at night about all of this. We're heading into an election year. We're heading into a period where major legal cases are going to be unfolding. And the same AI technology that's being used to make fake Diddy party images is going to be used to make fake political content, fake news reports, fake everything. If we can't even identify a fake image of Beyonce at a party, how are we going to handle the really serious stuff? This is a test run. These trolls and engagement farmers are stress testing the system, seeing how far they can push it before people start pushing back. And so far, people aren't pushing back hard enough. They're just accepting it and sharing it and moving on to the next thing. That has to change, and it has to change now. So as we move forward with this coverage, as we get closer to June, and this trial between Jay-Z and Busby actually begins, I need you all to stay sharp. Pay attention to what's real and what's not. Listen to the legal experts who are actually analyzing the case, not the random accounts posting blurry screenshots with no source. There's going to be a lot more misinformation between now and then, and I'm going to do my best to cut through it for you. That's what I've been doing since day one of this Diddy coverage, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. Just make sure you're doing your part too. Question everything. verify before you share, and don't let these